Hello, Morongo Basin, and listeners around the world online at Z107.7fm.com. Here is the Z107.7 local news for Tuesday, July 14th, 2026. A burglary suspect is alleged to have broken into multiple homes, including one room with sleeping children. On July 1st, San Bernardino County Sheriff's deputies responded to multiple residential burglary reports in Twentynine Palms. They say that they first responded to a report of a man who reached through an exterior glass window and attempted to take a wallet located inside a home in the 7,000 block of El Sol Avenue. Deputy Kay Ford from the Morongo Basin Station said he found damage to the home consistent with that report. Deputies then responded to a report of a burglary in the 6,000 block of Estrella Avenue. That victim said that a male suspect removed a security camera from the exterior of the home. Deputies reviewed surveillance footage they say showed a male suspect with a cover over his head. They conducted an area check for the suspect. During that area check, deputies responded to a third burglary report in the 6,000 block of Aileen Avenue. Victims in the third report told deputies that a male suspect with a cover over his head entered their home through a rear sliding glass door. Victims said the suspect stole a blanket and entered a room occupied by two sleeping children. Deputies say the suspect was startled by a dog and fled. Deputies identified the suspect as Anthony Irvin, a 24-year-old resident of Twentynine Palms. On Thursday at around 11:30 p.m., deputies served a search warrant at Irvin's home in the 6,000 block of Estrella Avenue. Irvin was taken into custody without incident. Anthony Irvin was arrested on suspicion of 2 counts of burglary and 2 counts of attempted burglary. He is being held at the West Valley Detention Center on $500,000 bail. An e-bike chase through Yucca Valley ended with a crash and the citation of a minor. On Sunday at around 1 p.m., San Bernardino County Sheriff's deputies attempted to conduct a traffic stop on an e-bike near the intersection of Old Woman Springs Road and Aviation Drive in Yucca Valley. Deputies identified the rider of the e-bike as a 14-year-old male. They say the e-bike had no plates and failed to signal a lane change. After attempting a stop, deputies say the rider drove on the wrong side of the road, failed to stop correctly at intersections, made abrupt turns directly in front of vehicles, and drove along the right shoulder to pass vehicles. Deputies say that during the pursuit, the rider lost control of the vehicle near the intersection of Old Woman Springs Road and Crestview Drive, colliding into a dirt berm. Medics from San Bernardino County Fire were called, but the rider did not sustain any serious injuries. The 14-year-old rider was arrested on suspicion of felony reckless evading. He was cited and released into the custody of his parents. Tonight's Twentynine Palms City Council meeting will be residents' last opportunity to speak on the 1% sales tax increase ballot measure proposed for November's general municipal election. If adopted, the resolution will put the tax increase on the ballot, leaving its fate in voters' hands. The increase would bring the sales tax up to 8.75%, the same rate as many other cities in the county, including Yucca Valley. The possible tax increase could bring in an estimated $2 million in revenue in just the first year. The City Council is also expected to go over some Brown Act changes, including remote viewing and participation options being introduced to municipal meetings in Twentynine Palms. The meeting begins at 6 p.m. at Twentynine Palms City Hall, located at 6136 Adobe Road. You can find the full agenda at this story at Z107.7fm.com. At tonight's Yucca Valley Planning Commission meeting, they will discuss amendments to site plan and design reviews and conditional use permits. Reporter Gabriel Hart takes a closer look at tonight's agenda.
The Commission will hold a public hearing to discuss site plan and design review and conditional use permit amendments, where extensions would be reduced from 3 to 2 years. This is a continued discussion from the meeting on June 9th, when the Commission voted 5-0 to hold this public hearing after discussions on some long-standing projects raised concern. A resident on Lucerne Vista has applied to obtain a native plant permit to remove 1 California juniper and 1 desert broom plant for proposed residential patio improvements to be approved by the Planning Commission. Finally, the Commission will review a Watermill Express water and ice dispensing station on the south side of Sioux City on the corner of Twentynine Palms Highway and Old Woman Springs Road. The meeting begins tonight at 6 p.m. in the Yucca Room at the Yucca Valley Community Center, open to the public with opportunity for public comment. Reporting for Z107.7 News, I'm Gabriel Hart.
The Joshua Basin Water District Board of Directors meets in regular session tomorrow. On their agenda is the hiring of additional staff and a report from the board's Water and Growth Committee. The board is expected to receive a grant from the Mojave Water Agency. The Joshua Basin Water District Board of Directors meets tomorrow at 5 p.m. at their office at 61750 Choita Road in Joshua Tree. The High Desert Water District Board of Directors meets tomorrow afternoon. They will hold 2 public hearings on annual sewer service charges and water standby assessments. The board will receive an update on Phase 2 of the sewer project, which may include additional areas and some financial news regarding that development. The High Desert Water District Board of Directors meets tomorrow at 4 p.m. at their office at 55439 Twentynine Palms Highway in Yucca Valley. The Twentynine Palms Water District Board of Directors meets in regular session tomorrow. On their agenda is a public hearing on prohibiting the use of potable water for the irrigation of non-functional turf. The board is expected to extend their employment agreement with General Manager Matt Tragg and receive a presentation on GeoViewer. That meeting is tomorrow at 4 p.m. at their office at 72401 Hatch Road in Twentynine Palms. Mining is on the mind of some Morongo Basin residents, and an upcoming information session tomorrow is being held to shed more light on a rare earth element extraction operation proposed for public land right outside Joshua Tree National Park. Online news editor Robert Hayden digs in.
An information session on the Music Valley Mine is taking place this Wednesday at Copper Mountain College from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. The information session is being put on by representatives from the National Parks Conservation Association, or NPCA, who have been actively trying to stop mining by the same Australian company in the Mojave National Preserve. I talked with Mason Osgood and Chance Wilcox from the NPCA to get some background from that project. Here's some of that conversation.
We first heard of these claims in a press release from Dateline Resources that they staked around 20,000 acres of claims. And mining claims range in size from an acre to 30 acres. It's primarily in an area called Music Valley. If you want to situate yourself driving towards the Joshua Tree National Park entrance gate from Twentynine Palms, the mountains just to your left, driver's left, is the area of Music Valley, Pinto Mountains. It's currently managed by the Bureau of Land Management. It has a conservation designation called an ACEC, which is an area of critical environmental concern. It has some really unique and special values to it. It's very prime desert tortoise habitat.
What's the process right now? Where are they at with that claim? And is that something that's going to really, if that goes forward, is that going to matter to people?
This is not Dateline's first foray in the Mojave Desert at all. It's another reason why I think that the community of Twentynine Palms and the Morongo Basin as a whole should be really concerned, is what we've seen this company get away with in the Mojave Desert for rare earth elements. Dateline Resources, as you said, is an Australian company. It's a pretty junior mining company, and their first kind of American foray or project that I'll say is that they purchased Coliseum Mine, which is located inside Mojave National Preserve, which is managed by the Park Service. And the mine had been in reclamation, which is the term for when we put a mine back into the earth, right? Like, we're going to call it quits. We're going to leave it alone. We're going to move on.
Let it sort of return.
Let it return to the earth, yeah. Dateline Resources purchased it in 2021 and just started doing whatever they wanted. So that precedent is scary and dangerous. And then what we see is this company all of a sudden is like, oh, we can get away with whatever we want on public lands. Let's try another venture. And we see them all of a sudden staking 20,000 acres of claims on the doorstep of Joshua Tree National Park.
The information session is expected to give more background on the possible mining operation, which has staked claims that stretch into Riverside County and as far east as Wonder Valley. It's taking place this Wednesday from 5:30 to 7:30 at Copper Mountain College's Bell Center, located at 6156 Copper Mountain Road in Joshua Tree. You can find a link to the full interview with the NPCA as a podcast at this story on our website, Z107.7fm.com. Reporting for Z107.7 News, I'm Robert Hayden.
That's our local news. Hear local news 7 times a day, 7 days a week at 7, 8, 9, noon, 4, 5, and 6. If you hear about news happening, let us know. Email us at tips@z1077fm.com. Reporting for the Morongo Basin News Leader, the award-winning Z1077 Local News, I'm News Director Jeff Harmatz.